Hey guys, if you like this content, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys like the video and subscribed to my channel. It helps make these videos worth it going forward. Hey guys, Altcoin Sherpa here with a crypto market review. As always, this is not financial advice. I am not an expert to you in research. Okay, so today I'll probably just review BTC and maybe like Solana. What we're seeing right now, I believe, is short-term distribution. I think that this area, the supply zone around 48K, is acting as resistance. And I still am of the belief that like 43K is like the next area up. We'll look at it from a midterm and high time frame standpoint first, and then I'll go down to lower time frames. For now, the context is that Bitcoin was in this range from 30K to 40K for several months. Bitcoin broke out of this range explosively. Well, not really explosively. It's kind of grinding up from 40 to nearly 50,000 and is now slightly pulling back in the short term. Where do I view Bitcoin going in the short midterm? I actually still think it's going to go to this 50K level or higher. There's a few reasons for that. Number one, so much this chopped around for so long that I think that for it to chop around for this long and only go to 50,000 seems a little bit, I don't know, like not right, I guess, to me. I think that there's still going to be higher liquidity up near like the low 50Ks. And I still believe that that is like the destination that I'm looking for in the short term or the midterm. But with that said, I'm not discounting the possibility of it retesting 40K or 43K first. So something like this would make sense to me, like 43K or something, and then pull back and then grind back up. And then after that, I actually think that it's quite possible that Bitcoin does like a deeper pullback, something like go to 53K or something like that, and then we see like a pretty decent sized pullback to 40,000. This would make a lot more sense to me. So like this, and then we kind of like still see this like overall chopping consolidation move, and then chop around for a few months and then moon hard in late Q4. That's kind of like my overall idea for Bitcoin. Bitcoin always pumps harder than you think. It always dumps harder than you think, and it also moves really, really hard when it starts to move. I do believe that late Q4, early Q1 of 2022 will be pretty nice. I still believe that this is cautiously bullish. I will say that I'm not super like I don't think that it's going to go lower than 30K, but I am open to the possibility that this is like kind of a lower high formed. Context wise, this was just like a ranging price action, and I don't think there was really a clear trend. I mean, typically price is either in a bullish trend, a bearish trend, or a consolidation. And consolidation, I mean, you see stuff happening on lower time frames, of course, but it's still just within the context. It's still just like a overall range, and I don't really think this was like really bullish or bearish. So for now, you could maybe argue that price will just like kind of make this like lower high like after this like last like official kind of high was formed, and then like price is just going to go lower. I still believe that 30K is like the low in general. There are a lot of levels to get through in this range if price starts dipping down. I am open to the possibility that price like comes back up to like 46 and then starts to dump, but I personally don't believe that's really going to happen. But I am like open to the possibility of it. Like, as traders, we have to always be conscious and open to all ideas, and like, strong ideas loosely held type of thing, where we're able to flip our bias and flip our ideas if the market tells us we're wrong. So for me personally, I'm still viewing this kind of overall idea, maybe pull back to 42 or 40K and then kind of go like higher to 50 to 55, and then kind of a deeper pullback to maybe 40s or mid 30s, and then chop around for a little bit longer, and then a moon time in Q4. That's kind of my overall thoughts for BTC. Let's look down at lower time frames of why I think this is distribution. We're seeing like some heavy sell volume coming in on the 4 hour. And we're seeing these wicks up, and these are not really bullish closing wicks as well. And if you start to look down on lower time frame charts as well, we can start to see that there's some lower highs being formed as well. And now, of course, when you start to look down at lower time frame charts, you need to be aware of a lot of the noise that comes with it. But we might have just seen something like high officially here around, what is that, 48K or whatever, lower high established. Then you see low, and you see lower low, as well as a lower high. So you might see a market structure shift on lower time frame charts. Of course, there is a lot of chop within the lower time frames, so it's sometimes hard to distinguish where price is headed. Given, like, you know, if you look on lower time frame charts, it's very difficult sometimes. Like, for instance, you might argue, like, you know, this right here was a high, and this was a low, and price made a lower low and a lower high. So contextually, you know, you might think this is like bearish, but after like this higher high is established on the 1 hour, like, you know, price just kept going higher. So again, it's difficult to sometimes tell on lower time frame charts in general. I will say though that lower time frame charts does have the best information. Like, you know, scalpers like are the best at reading these lower time frame moves, but it is easy to get lost in all this noise in general. So yeah, that's kind of like my overall thoughts right now on, like, this is, I personally think this doesn't look super great. Like, we're seeing this kind of like support area getting tapped over and over and over again, and like you see these like long, or like you see these bounces getting smaller and smaller. So I don't know, it wouldn't really surprise me to see this like cool off a little bit to go to like 42 or 43 or like 40K. That would make sense to me personally. 44 will have some like initial support as well. Like, this hasn't been tapped in quite some time. 200 EMA on the 4 hour. This has confluence with probably about 42.5K coming up as well. So those are kind of like my overall thoughts on Bitcoin. Let's briefly look at Solana. Solana has been absolutely insane. Very incredible run. I did this fib extension here, marked the top and bottom of the range. Usually the fib extension is a good way to do some targets, and this was actually the high around the 1.414, around $75 or so. And this was like the perfect top actually, and I didn't really, you know, mark it until I should have done this before. Price is now pulling back. Where would I view? I would view these fibs as SR levels. I would view kind of like 58 and then like 50. Those are both like kind of areas of interest in my opinion. 58, of course, is the former swing high. If it comes, 43 would be awesome, but like that probably won't come unless Bitcoin really takes a dump down to, I don't know, like lower than 40K would be my guess. But this would absolutely be a solid buy in my opinion, around $44. I mean, like, again, that's pretty significant dip from here, like 30%. Certainly not out of the question, of course, if Bitcoin takes a dump to like lower than 40, but it's also important to understand that coins this strong usually get bought the fuck up. Like, I mean, as seen yesterday, like those dips got really bottomed really quickly. Wouldn't surprise me at all to see the same thing kind of happen and see these levels front ran. So like, you know, if you really want to get in this thing, I mean, you should always exercise patience as much as you can, but something like 50 or whatever might get front ran. So those are kind of my overall thoughts on Solana. It's still a bullish project, of course, still like incredible run. This and Luna have just like really surprised me, seeing like these total almost V-shaped or rounded bottom reversals to break all-time high in these conditions. It's absolutely mind-blowing to see for a lot of reasons. I posted a short thread on Luna today on Twitter, so check that out. What I kind of learned, but like seeing these altcoins just like make full reversals, the strong ones that is, it's like very, very impressive to see. So that's all I have for today. So thank you very much for watching. Thanks for the support, guys.